You know that feeling when you're watching a horror movie thinking, "Pfft, if it were me, things would be different." Yeah, we've all been there. Sitting comfortably on the couch, popcorn in hand, it's easy to judge the characters' dumb choices and imagine we'd be way smarter in their place. But let's be honest, some horror movie locations are death traps, places so perfectly designed for chaos that no matter how clever you think you are, your chances of survival are basically zero. We're talking about those spots where every door could be your last, every hallway hides a nightmare, and every logical decision takes you straight to the body bag. So today, I'm counting down 6 horror movie locations you'd never survive. Before we jump in, give that like button a good stab with your best knife and hit subscribe to catch more horror lists fresh out of the oven. Alright, let's get into it. The first movie is Haunt, released in 2019. At first glance, this place seems harmless. Just a Halloween haunted house attraction. Sounds fun, right? Wrong. Very wrong. This isn't one of those cheap $20 haunted mazes where you get a few jump scares and a silly picture at the end. Nope. This is a full-blown murder playground run by real psychopaths who take immersive experience to a blood-soaked level. The biggest red flag, you voluntarily walk in after signing a waiver that basically says anything can happen to you inside. And before you enter, they make you lock your phone away. So once you step through those doors, there's no calling for help. By the time you realize the actors aren't following a script and that blood looks way too real, it's too late. You're done for. The evil genius of this setup lies in its simplicity. The hosts use our fascination with Halloween scares and spooky vibes to disarm us completely, like chickens in a rotisserie, ready to roast. When you first enter, your brain automatically labels everything as fake. That masked guy? Just an actor. That claustrophobic hallway full of traps? Cool design. Those screams in the distance? Sound effects. Except, nope, nothing's fake. Everything's real. Once the truth hits, you're already trapped inside a maze of dark corridors, interlocked rooms, and physical traps that make escaping nearly impossible. The place is deliberately confusing and pitch black, built to disorient you. The exits? Just doors that lead to concrete walls. No phone, no police, no way to call for help. Your friends are screaming their lungs out somewhere else, but you can't even tell where they are. You're totally isolated, probably in some abandoned industrial warehouse where no one can hear a thing. Meanwhile, the operators know every inch of that place, every shortcut, every dead end. They've got all the advantages: home turf, gear, numbers, and the ultimate weapon: surprise. You're playing their game by their rules and they don't have any moral limits. Your chances? Basically zero. In the second place, I bring Club Dread from 2004. At first, this one looks like a tropical dream, a resort on a private island. Sunshine, beaches, hot people, endless drinks. What could possibly go wrong? Well, everything. The key detail here, you're on a remote island in the middle of nowhere. The only ways off are by boat or plane, both controlled by the resort. That's already bad news. Then comes the local legend. Years ago, an employee was lured into the jungle by a beautiful woman. Things got steamy, but then a lightning strike lit up the sky and he suddenly found himself surrounded by terrified coworkers in the middle of an old native burial ground. The woman, dead. The same one he thought he'd just been with. He didn't say a word, just got dressed, walked back to the hotel, grabbed a knife, and, well, let's say he permanently retired his manhood. From that day on, he became Machete Phil, and anyone who hears him crying out for his missing piece is doomed to be hunted down. Fast forward, and guests and staff start dying one by one. If you thought of escaping to the mainland, forget it. The boat's sabotaged, the radio's destroyed, and that tropical paradise instantly turns into a water-locked prison. The island setup is one of horror's oldest traps, but it works because it taps into a primal fear: total isolation. You can't just run to the nearest police station or yell for help. No neighbors, no guns, no rescue coming. It's you, a bunch of panicking strangers, and a killer who knows the island like the back of his hand. The jungle's thick, full of hiding spots. Those once beautiful beaches, now they're just convenient dump sites for bodies. And the worst part? In a resort full of strangers, you can't trust anyone. That friendly staff member could be the next victim or the killer himself. There's also the psychological angle. In these situations, people are always too slow to react. Like, at first, everyone thinks it's just an accident, or maybe it's part of the resort experience. That delay gives the killer a huge head start. By the time everyone realizes it's real and starts fighting back, the murderer already controls the weapons, the food, and probably wiped out anyone who could lead a defense. And good luck running into the jungle. You'll last 5 minutes tops. No survival skills, no idea which plants are safe to eat, no clue where to find water. You'll be lost before nightfall. Stay at the resort? You're an easy target. Run to the jungle? You're dead anyway. No good options. Next up, we've got House LLC, a series that combines the worst of several nightmares. An abandoned hotel turned into a haunted attraction that, surprise, is actually haunted. This is the kind of place that should have giant signs saying stay away in every known language. But nope, some genius group decides it's a brilliant idea to set up a Halloween experience there. What could possibly go wrong? Absolutely everything. The real problem with Hell House is that you're not just facing physical dangers that can be avoided or fought off. You're dealing with supernatural forces, things that don't play by the laws of physics or human logic. Supernatural entities are the worst possible opponents because there's no survival manual for them. You can't bargain with a ghost. You can't fight something that doesn't have a body. You can't lock a door when what's after you can walk through walls. All your human advantages, intelligence, tools, planning, become basically useless against an enemy that exists in another dimension of reality. And to make it worse, the hotel itself is practically a character in the story. Doors slam shut by themselves, spirits appear out of nowhere just to finish you off, and worst of all, the life-sized clown mannequins possessed by ghosts. Honestly, does it get creepier than that? It's like the building is alive and actively trying to kill you. The psychological side of it is maybe even worse. The entities in Hell House seem to feed on fear, and they know exactly how to turn up the dose. They toy with you and give you a glimpse of hope, then rip it away at the last second. You see an exit, run toward it, and the door slams shut. And forget about running away, the windows are boarded up. The legends say that once the hotel marks you, that's it. Game over. You're not just escaping a place anymore. You're trying to escape a curse that's now attached to your very existence. Good luck with that. On third place, we have a very cool movie called Primitive War, released in 2025. Now we're stepping into completely different territory. Forget ghosts and serial killers. We're talking dinosaurs. Yep, you heard that right. Carnivorous dinosaurs in the middle of the Vietnamese jungle during the Vietnam War. It's such an absurdly hostile setup, it's almost funny, until you remember that you'd be torn apart by a raptor before you could even say, whoa, real dinosaurs. Just imagine, you're already in a war zone where other humans are actively trying to kill you. That's bad enough. Now add prehistoric predators, creatures that evolved over millions of years to be perfect killing machines. Congrats. You've officially reached the worst place imaginable. The Vietnamese jungle is already one of the harshest environments on Earth. Scorching heat, suffocating humidity, vegetation so dense you can't see 10 feet ahead, insects carrying deadly diseases, venomous snakes, and terrain so treacherous every step could be your last. Even trained soldiers with modern military gear would struggle to survive here. Now picture you, trying to deal with dinosaurs on top of that. Creatures that don't fear humans because, to them, humans are just another snack on the menu. They can smell you from miles away, run faster than you ever could, and bite you clean in half with one snap. The true nightmare of Primitive War is that you're fighting on two fronts at once. You've got human enemies trying to capture or kill you, and prehistoric predators that definitely want to eat you. Focus on one threat and you're exposed to the other. Hide from the dinosaurs and you might stumble right into an enemy patrol. Run from the soldiers and you'll sprint straight into a T-Rex's jaws. It's an unwinnable game, one designed by someone who really hates you. Your weapons might work on humans, but against a T-Rex, you'll need a miracle, not a rifle. And even if by some cosmic luck you survive both the dinosaurs and the crossfire, you still have to find your way back to civilization, through a jungle that's trying to kill you in 10 different ways. At that point, the only reasonable question is, what the hell is even happening here?
I have no idea.
The The silver medal goes to Underwater, a movie that throws you into one of the last places humans should ever be, the bottom of the ocean. We're talking 7 miles below the surface. There's something deeply unsettling about being trapped that far down, and this film milks that terror for all it's worth. You're working in a deep-sea research station when something goes terribly wrong. Maybe it's a leak, maybe someone forgot to seal a hatch, or maybe it's the wrath of some ancient interdimensional sea creature that doesn't like uninvited guests. Doesn't really matter. The result's the same. You're stuck in a metal coffin at the bottom of the ocean with miles of crushing water above you and no fast way to reach the surface. The ocean is one of the most hostile environments for human life. We can't breathe there. The pressure alone could crush us instantly. Temperatures can drop low enough to cause hypothermia in minutes, and it's darker than anywhere else on Earth. That underwater station might feel safe. Air to breathe, lights, food, climate control, but it's all a fragile illusion. Everything depends on machines that must work perfectly 24/7. One leak, catastrophe. One power failure, instant pitch black darkness. A problem with oxygen systems, slow, painful suffocation. And unlike a house or a building, you can't just step outside if something goes wrong. The front door opens directly into millions of tons of high-pressure water that would crush you to pulp in milliseconds. Your only hope is to reach an escape pod or a pressurized suit, and that's if they're still functioning. Otherwise, the deep sea becomes your tomb. The psychological side of underwater survival is particularly cruel. You're completely cut off from the rest of humanity. Communication with the surface? Fragile at best. If something goes wrong, a rescue team could take hours, maybe days, to reach you, assuming they even could before you meet your maker. When things couldn't get worse, the movie throws in a hostile deep sea creature. Yep, your problems just multiplied by 1,000. You've entered Cthulhu's territory, a massive tentacled god with the combined strength of 10,000 Dwayne Johnsons. He swims faster, sees better in the dark, shrugs off crushing pressure, and you're just a clumsy human in an oversized metal suit, praying not to die. Yeah, I'd say the odds are heavily in its favor.
Wait, huh?
Finally, closing the list, we have As Above, So Below, a film that drags us deep beneath Paris into the catacombs. If you're not familiar with this real-life nightmare, let me paint the picture. Hundreds of underground tunnels forming a massive labyrinth under the city. The walls, decorated with the bones of roughly 6 million people. That's right, like millions of human skeletons stacked like morbid wallpaper stretching for miles. Creepy enough already. Now imagine getting lost down there. And then things start getting supernaturally weird. The catacombs are already a logistical nightmare before you even add ghosts to the mix. They were built over centuries with no consistent map or exits. It's a chaotic maze where even experienced explorers get lost. The darkness is absolute. Your little store-bought flashlight barely creates a small circle of light. Ceilings shift from comfortably tall to claustrophobically low. Some tunnels are so tight you have to squeeze your way through, and if you've hit McDonald's a few too many times, you're gonna get stuck and turn into a sad family memory real fast. It's always damp, always cold, and always smells like a mix of mold, ancient stone, and decay. Air is scarce in many areas. Stale, uncirculated, thin. Stay too long without the right gear, and you'll slowly suffocate as the oxygen runs out. But the real horror in As Above, So Below isn't the physical environment. It's what's waiting beyond the forbidden passage. The catacombs have a long, dark history of occult rituals, forbidden ceremonies, and urban legends that would make you need a new pair of pants just hearing about them. When the movie starts blending that sinister history with genuine supernatural events, you realize you're standing at the border between the world of the living and something much, much worse. The tunnels start shifting. Your markings disappear. Paths you've already walked suddenly lead somewhere else. Reality itself becomes unreliable. And then come the visions, the voices, the literal demons. Are they hallucinations from lack of oxygen? Are they real spirits? Or are they manifestations of some hellish entity that lives down there? Honestly, it doesn't matter. You're lost in the dark, surrounded by millions of bones, and your sanity is cracking under the weight of pure psychological terror. Out of every location on this list, the Paris catacombs easily take the crown for worst place to be. You're not surviving this one, period. When you look at all these places together, they share one brutal trait. They turn our modern advantages into liabilities. Our technology fails or becomes useless. Our intelligence can't comprehend the rules of the game we've been forced into. Our physical strength doesn't mean a thing. And worst of all, our own minds betray us. We panic, make irrational decisions, trust the wrong people, and underestimate the danger until it's too late. These environments are built to shorten your life expectancy. The truth is, there are places where it doesn't matter how smart, strong, or prepared you are. Humans just aren't meant to survive there. Some environments are simply hostile to life itself. And in those places, it's not about if you die, it's about how fast. The good news? Thank God these places only exist in fiction. Or at least we hope they do.